Assalamualaikum, my name is Izzati binti Anwar. So today we are going to present about 4.1 deployment in web.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. So today we are going to present 4.1 deployment in web. So my part is 4.1.1 define steps to deploy a web application in NetBeans. So basically, first you open the NetBeans, and to create a new project, you click File and choose New Project. Under the categories, choose Java Web and select Web Application, and then you click Next. After that, you give your project a name, for example, Web Project 1. So then you click Next. And after that, you select the server. For example, here I use Glassfish server 3.1 and then leave the other values as default, then click finish. So after that, you can see the complete directory structure that required for the servlet application. It will be automatically created by the IDE. To create new JSP file, you click right click on your project and then select new and select JSP. Give a name to your JSP file, for example here data, and click finish. After that, once the file is created, it will give you a hello world HTML code. It will be automatically gives you a hello world HTML code. So you can change the code into yours, for example here, and this code is required database. So first of all, go to the services and add the database. You expand it and select JavaDB. Right click on the JavaDB and start the server. Once you start the server, it will show you this, and then after that you create a database. It is the same thing. You right click on the JavaDB and create the database and select database, and you insert the database name, for example here PO2, and then you click OK. And then you need to connect the database. So right click on your database and select connect. So if you have set a username and password, you need to fill in and just press OK. After that, you need to create a table and give name to the table. For example here I use employees. So employees is the table's name, and you can add column and give specific name and type of that column. So this is my column ID, first name, last name, and age, and this is the data. You need to insert the data into the database and into the table. After that, you can run your file. If there is no error, it will show you build successful, and it will open the file through a web browser with a localhost 8080. If your code has error, then your build is failed. It will show you build failed, and it will not open the file through web browser.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Aqilah binti Anwar.
Seterusnya, understand the directory structure. Dekat mana web application ni? Satu projek dalam NetBeans merupakan satu abstraction kepada web application. The actual directory dan juga file structure dia akan dilocate dekat tempat specified dia bila application tersebut telah di-create. Tapi tak semua directories dia visible daripada projek punya view, tapi dia juga visible dari segi files punya view. Contoh dia, the root directory. The root directory of web application ni can have any name. Macam contoh example kat bawah ni, PUOJTMG. Okay, next, index.jsp ataupun index.html. Ni adalah default web page bila web application ni is loaded. Some version kepada NetBeans dia guna .html dan juga ada setengah menggunakan .jsp. Jadi kita boleh je guna whichever file yang telah di-create untuk kita lah. Next, build directory. Build directory ni dia contain semua web application files untuk projek kita. Dalam build directory, dia ada juga web directory. Apa tu web directory? Web directory ni dia contains actual web application directory untuk projek kita. Dia ada dua important directories kat sini. Satu, meta inf directory. Kedua, web inf directory. Apa tu meta inf directory? Meta inf directory ni dia contains a manifest.mf file yang includes information pasal projek kita. Contoh macam JDK version, make class yang akan run program tersebut dan juga lain-lain.
Assalamualaikum. Nama saya Nur Izzati binti Hairi Anwar, 01 DIS 17F2040.
Seterusnya, saya akan menerangkan mengenai web INF directory. Web INF directory merupakan satu folder di dalam NetBeans yang di mana ia mengandungi resources atau file-file yang hanya boleh diakses menggunakan servlet code. Di dalam directory ini juga terdapat lagi dua directory yang penting, iaitu classes directory dan web.xml. Classes directory merupakan folder yang mengandungi semua file-file Java yang berkaitan dengan projek web application kita. Manakala web.xml merupakan file yang mengandungi informasi mengenai web application. Informasi yang terdapat di dalam web.xml adalah mappings dan reference untuk servlet access dan membolehkan NetBeans execute program dengan baik. Akhir sekali adalah NB Project Directory. NB Project Directory merupakan folder yang mengandungi file-file yang private. File-file ini mengandungi data yang spesifik untuk sistem. Contohnya kalau kita guna laptop, dia akan mengandungi data tentang laptop kita yang penting untuk execute program. Antara file-file yang terdapat di dalam folder ini adalah private properties, then file.properties, project.properties, dan project.xml. Semua file-file ini mempunyai fungsi-fungsi yang tersendiri di dalam NetBeans untuk membolehkan program berjalan dengan baik.
Hai, Assalamualaikum. My name is Rahimah binti Mat Taufik.
Okey, saya akan terangkan tentang SRC directory. SRC directory ni adalah merupakan Java source code for a module yang mana dia auto generate. Just kita create file JSP. Sebagai contoh, saya create file JSP kat sini. Nama JSP adalah login page. Okey, tapi dalam SRC login page.jsp ni akan jadi Java file. Okey, kita tengok contohnya. Second is web, directory web. Dalam directory web, kita akan nampak meta inf, web inf, and JSP file yang kita dah create tadi. And kat sini ada gambar, iaitu kita boleh save gambar dalam file web ni untuk kita gunakan dalam JSP file kita. Okey, yang ketiga adalah manifest. Manifest ni adalah maklumat yang akan dihasilkan sebagai sebahagian daripada penyusunan projek. Dekat sini kita akan tengok manifest version. Dia akan bagi tahu version berapa kita punya web. Okay, itu je dalam manifest. And then build.sml ni adalah auto generate. Kita tak perlu fikir macam mana nak generate benda ni, and sebab IDE akan auto generate. Okay, untuk pengetahuan semua, NetBeans IDE akan provide driver untuk database. Contoh kat sini kita ada Java DB, MySQL, Oracle. Okay, kat sini kita boleh, ni adalah tab yang dipanggil Database Explorers. Kita boleh create, modify and delete table. Okay, contoh kat sini kita ada Counting System DB database. Ini adalah table. Okey, kita tengok kat sini. Ini adalah SQL editor yang kita boleh create, kita boleh delete or modify kita punya table dekat SQL editor.
Good morning everyone, my name is Riseeba. I would like to explain about Advanced Web Development Chapter 4.
Good morning everyone, my name is Praveena. I would like to present about Advanced Web Development Chapter 4.
Presenting this together. Okay, first of all, what is web application? Web application is a software application that runs on a remote server. That is a basic explanation for what web application is. Next, the main thing for our subtopic will be configuring web applications. What is that? It is web applications are configured by means of elements contained in the web application deployment descriptor. Well, the following sections gives a brief introduction to the web application features you will usually want to configure. Next, mapping URLs to web components. How does that happen? When a request is received by the web container, it must determine which web component should handle the request. It does so by mapping the URL path contained in the request to a web application and a web component.
So the next thing we will be seeing is Uniform Resource Identifier, a string of characters used to identify a resource on a computer network of which the best known type is the web address or URL. That is the Uniform Resource Identifier's explanation. And the next one we'll be seeing configuring how a client access a web application. Actually, you construct the URL that a client uses to access a web application using the following pattern, where you'll be using host string, context path, servlet path, path info. So what is host string? It's either a host name that is mapped to a virtual host or host name or port number. So the next one will be context path, is the name of your web application. Servlet path is a servlet that is mapped to the servlet path. Path info is the remaining portion of the URL, typically a file name. So thank you. That's all from us.
Thank you.
My name is Panita, anak perempuan Pripan, and today we are going to present 4.1.4 Configuring JSP in Web.
Okay, so the last part is configuring JSP in web. What is configuring JSP file? Configuring a JSP into a web.xml file is optional because JSP is a public file. A JSP called a public file and a servlet is called a private file. JSP file stored in root directory and servlet class file stored in subdirectory. Because JSP is the public file, we can directly send a request from a browser by using its file name. So I will show you how to configure a JSP in web.xml file. Open the NetBeans. In the Project tab, right-click, New Project, and the display dialog will appear. Then Next, project name, example, web application 2, next, next, then finish. Okay. Click. First, we want to create the web.xml file first. Go to web page. In web inf directory, right click, new, other, select web, scroll down, choose standard deployment descriptor and next, finish. Okay, here is the web.xml. Okay, so here is the servlet tag. Inside the servlet tag, we have it has servlet name is the name for the servlet, hello world servlet, and servlet class is the name of the class servlet, package name, com.nita.hello world servlet. So servlet mapping, servlet mapping, it defines a mapping between a servlet and URL banner. Servlet mapping, it defines a mapping between a servlet and URL pattern. Servlet name is the name of the servlet to which URL pattern is being mapped. Yeah. Function URL pattern ni boleh contoh function URL pattern seperti form action untuk control ke pages lain. Function dia URL pattern untuk control ke pages lain. So go to hello world servlet.java and run the code. Run file. Okay. The class fit build the code. Okay, wait. Okay, ni adalah servlet tag. Dalam servlet tag ada servlet name. Servlet name adalah name provided name of the servlet, hello world servlet, and servlet class is the name of servlet class. Yeah, and servlet mapping, it defines a mapping between servlet name and URL pattern. Okay.
Servlet name is the name of the servlet to which URL pattern is being mapped. URL pattern function dia untuk control pages. Okay, so pergi dekat file hello servlet. Okay, go to hello servlet.java, run the file. Right click. Okay, if you wait lah. Okay, this is the output. Okay, if you see the URL in the browser, localhost and ni port number, project name dengan URL pattern. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazifa binti Ahmad.
What is servlet mapping? Servlet mapping specifies the web container of which Java servlet should be invoked for a URL given by client. It maps URL patterns to servlet, and when there is a request from a client, servlet container decided to which application it should forward to. Then context path of URL is matched for mapping servlet. When dealing with a JSP as a servlet mapping is needed. In order to be able to access servlet init parameter, you will need to create mapping and call the JSP with the URL pattern in the mapping. JSP provides the config implicit object variable that eliminates the need to call and get servlet config. You can get the init parameters from the implicit config object by calling getInitParameter method or getInitParameters method. What is a servlet config? Returns a servlet config object which contain initialization and startup parameters for this servlet. The servlet config object returned is the one passed to the init method. Implementation of this interface are responsible for storing the servlet config object so that this method can return it. For example, config.getInitParameter bracket hello get servlet config method can return an object that contains hello. If you make the URL pattern match the name of the JSP, people won't be able to skirt the web XML configuration. By typing the URL of the JSP in the browser's address window, if you want to add init parameters to a JSP via web.xml, you need to create a servlet mapping for your JSP and use the URL defined then in that mapping when making the request. Context init parameter, on the other hand, are bound to the context object, which is available to all components of the app, will be available regardless of how your JSP was invoked. So that's all from us. Thank you.